Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday morning here in Ohio, August the 21st, 2022. Here to talk to you about chemical applications for your lawn. And these are things that I do, and I've been at it for about 41 years. So these are products I'm currently using in my go-to thing, and I'll probably leave some of it out, but this is mainly the spray products. I have some other dried products, which if I don't forget, I'll get into. So anyhow, I just wanted to also give a shout out to all my recent new viewers and subscribers. The channel's small and growing, so don't forget to look under one of the videos and press that subscribe button. It'll help me out a lot. And you're the reason I'm here, so very important to me. So let's get into the chemicals. First of all, I use a backpack sprayer, and I use 3 different backpack sprayers because you cannot mix all these chemicals together, because if you mix the Ranger Pro, which is a Roundup, in the same tank, and then you go take the one on the right's unlabeled, the label's been off, but it's a fungus insecticide. It does 3 different things, applications, and I believe one of them's maybe mold or something, fungus and insect and so forth. So it's a triplet threat. So that has to be mixed in its own separate thing. The Q4 and the Trimec on here on the end, the blue label, can be mixed in the same tank. So that's why, even though there's 4 bottles, I only need 3 sprayers, and the Roundup's always by itself because it kills everything. So you will need, I highly recommend having 3 sprayers for this system. And I'm always asked by new customers, because there's a lot of people spraying chemicals and chemical companies, and what's your program, Terry? How many applications? What do you do? And my answer to them, which is hard to get across because everybody has, the big boys advertise, and they got this program where they do this and that at this time of year, and that's all they do. And with me, I'm very weather related. If it's not rain much, I'm not gonna, and it's very hot and dry, I'm not going to go out and spray your lawn for weeds, because you're going to do some additional damage to the turf. And so I'm always adjusting due to weather conditions, because this is not the only thing that I do for a living. I do many various other things. So if it's not appropriate, I'm not going to take the time and do it. If it's real windy that day, for instance, 30-40 mile an hour gust, I'm probably not going to do a Roundup application in your beds, because that will likely drift over and kill your plants or flowers or get into the yard. So I'm always thinking and adjusting according to the weather. So I may get back into a little bit of that a little bit later. I'll jump around here. So first of all, in the spring, I primarily use the Trimec. As far as the broadleaf weeds, dandelions are one of the main things, but it does a wide variety of broadleaf weeds. So it's in the spring, the weeds and foliage is very tender, so it's easy to kill it or do some damage to it. So I'll start off with that, and then in areas like the beds or driveways or paver patios, driveways, I'll use the Ranger Pro, and I will kill tree, whatever with that. If I spray it on the plant, it's a small little bush or tree or honeysuckle coming up, and I get it while it's a foot or 2 tall, then that usually takes care of it in a couple applications. surprisingly, English ivy is the most, I've had to spray it 2 or 3 times at times to get control and kill that. So, but the Ranger Pro is essentially a aftermarket, it's a Roundup. Then as we get into June, July, and August, and September, I start with in June, I'll start with a Q4, and it's a little bit stronger, and it takes care of, as it says on the tank there, I'll get a little closer, it takes care of grassy and broadleaf weeds, nutsedge, crabgrass. So that's some of your main problem things. So I'll switch to that and start spraying that. And again, being a one-man show and being in business for 41 years, I gravitate to these products because they're effective and efficient, and a lot of them these days will do multitude of things. So like the Q4, I no longer do a pre-emergent in the spring, which I used to do for crabgrass, because this product here is so effective at killing the crabgrass. In the old days, in the spring, you'd put down a pre-emergent for crabgrass, early spring, March or something, April. And so that's what you would do. But the different weather conditions would thin that out. If you had a real wet spring, we can get up to a foot or so of rain in 2 or 3 months here in Ohio. And so which dilutes all these chemicals and make them, again, least effective. That's where me being a small one-man show, and I see the weather as it may or may not come in, then I adjust the strength of these because I mix them myself. Everything here is not pre-mixed, it's full strength, and you mix it yourself. So I adjust my mixing ratios according to if it's going to rain a little bit more or what I'm doing. So back to the pre-emergent. And then also when you do a pre-emergent in the spring, it's kind of affects all weed seeds that I know of. It can certainly affect your grass seeding. So in the spring and fall is your ideal times to seed typically. So if you're doing a pre-emergent in the spring and you put that down, then you say you want to have you're going to grass seed, well, you just kind of shot yourself in the foot, so to speak. So I prefer, to spray this later, because to me, the main thing against weeds is weeds seem to thrive in thin spots in the grass or where you have no grass. So to me, it's more important to get the grass growing, so that's why I've switched my thinking and method over the years against and went against sort of the industry standard of pre-emergent in the spring. So I'll go after the broadleaf weeds and so forth. The dandelions primarily is what everybody dislikes, so that's the Trimec. And it's also a cheaper chemical, although everything's really doubled in price the past couple years with COVID and the shortages. And then the Roundup I can use anytime there's something I'm wanting to kill. I don't use it in the yard because Roundup is a product that kills everything. So if you go to spray a dandelion with your Roundup, you're going to have a very big brown spot in your lawn. So, which is not good, which these other two products, the Q4 and the Trimec, target the weed and saves the grass. So that's what you want to go with. So then Trimec starts up in June, and chasing the crabgrass also kills the dandelions, clover, nutsedge, takes care of a whole multitude. I don't know, there's, seems like there's 75, 150, different types of weeds and grasses that this Q4 takes care of. So the Trimec does not affect the crabgrass and things like that. In fact, you can read some of it says knotweed, clover, chickweed, different things, broadleaf weeds, dandelions. So the usual things you get in the spring. So April, May, late May. So April and May, I'm spraying that product. Then I go to the Q4 in June. And then for my bushes, roses, trees, burning bush that's been getting this blight on that, I'll go with this product. I wish I had the name on it. I buy all these from Green Velvet Sod Farms here in Bellbrook, Ohio. So I don't go to, not that it's terrible to do so, go to Lowe's and Home Depot, but a lot of times I found their products, I question the strength of them, and, you know, a lot of them's maybe pre-mixed or something, and so I just find these products to be consistent and work. I'll even spray this one here. It's, like I said, the triplet something as the name of it. I'll have to get that later to you. But I use that even on big hornets and wasp nests, and it's quite anything, any insect, any fungus or blight you have on a plant, it seems to take care of. And you have to read and come up with your own mixing strength. There's recommendations on the bottle. I have my own little thing, like I said, I add or take away according to the weather conditions. I change it up just to modify it a little bit with, that's where the 41 years of experience comes in. And that's just sharing with you what I do. So once again, you'll need 3 different tanks of, if you're going to go this route. So you, like I said, the Trimec and the Q4 can be mixed together. The Roundup has to go together, and then I'll put tape or some mark on the tank to let me know. Like for my Roundup tank, I put red X's on it, and that I know that tank's always for Roundup. And the green, one with green X's on it, green markings tank, that's for my insecticide and bush spray and tree spray, which is that one. And the Trimec and the Q4 goes in another one, and that's yellow. And I kind of think of that yellow reminds me of dandelions in the yard. So that's my yard sprayer for weeds in the yard. So that's my system. It's kind of my thoughts. I'm sure I'm leaving stuff out. I do 2 or 3 fertilized applications. One of them has a grub around June-ish, and that varies. I'll do a grub treatment, and I use Merit. I feel that's the best chemical, so I buy one that has a fertilizer with Merit blend in it, and I apply that usually in June-ish, sometimes as late as July. It varies between time and weather conditions in doing so, but I find the Merit quite effective. I've never had a failure with that product. There's 3 or 4 products on the market, and that's the one I go to. Is any product that has Merit in it is the top of the shelf as far as I'm aware of, or in my opinion. So, and then in the fertilizing, if you're going to fertilize, a lot of people think the spring is, optimum. And in my opinion, I think fall is the most important application you can do in fertilization, because it's feeding and strengthening the root system, because the roots, even though you're not getting grass growth and everything else, in November, December, and January, the roots of the trees and plants are still growing and needing energy. So I like to, I think my lawns take off better when I fertilize an application late in the year, such as November, even October is late, but I've done it as late as December something. So that's my time for now. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. Thank you.